Okay. Yes. Hello. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, I did all right. So I'm very fine. Good evening, everyone. It's nice to have you around. This discussion continues with we had one earlier today when we talked to the MD CEO of Gateway Mortgage Bank. And I did promise that we're going to have another discussion this evening. And this time around, we are hosting another CEO of Workcity restaurant on the discussion continues. Mrs. Funmi Lewis. Good evening and thank you for joining us.
Nice to see you again. How are you?
Yeah, very well. Okay, Technica, can you please mute the sound that is coming? Okay. All right, great. All right, we'll be looking at post-COVID-19. We'll be looking at what is happening to business, especially those who are in the food business. We know that everyone eats. One of the three ingredients of life is food, after shelter and clothing. Yes. Can I be spotlighted, please? Okay. So after the two that I talked about, but then we'll consider some other issues like the lockdown, weekend restrictions, and some other things that have not really allowed most businesses to blossom. Well, let me quickly say that we have on this show tonight professional colleagues in the media industry who will be reporting this event. First of all, let me allow them to introduce themselves. By the way, my name is Adedotun. I'm the host of this event. Okay, let's Sadiq Olor Ojirombe. Can you please unmute yourself and tell us your name and your organization?
Good evening. My name is Sadiq Ojulonde. I am the editor of Platform, a community newspaper in Ogun State, will be on this program. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Let's see who else on the line. Anolua Kwadekoya, can you please introduce yourself? Or meet yourself and introduce yourself.
Hello, good evening. I'm Anolua Kwadekoya. I'm with Ogun State Television. Nice to be here.
Thank you. All right. We have some other people who have joined us, some who are still going to join us. We have those who are just watching. I can recognize Dr. Adekunle Akinsoya, all the way from Lagos, also on this platform tonight. Let me also, Niger Talkers, you can just say something. I see you online. It's another journalist who will be asking questions on the show tonight. Niger Talkers, can you say something? Okay.
Yeah, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Adenego Enibokon, Ajatokas, and I report for 50 Miles.
Thank you for joining us. I guess where he is, there is no enough light. That's why he's just doing that. So quickly, let's set the ball rolling, Mrs. Funmi Lewis. Let's consider the lockdown. How did you receive the news about the lockdown? Though we have the easing of lockdown, gradual easing of lockdown. How did it play out? What was the experience like at your end?
Hello, good evening, everybody. My name is Funmi Lewis. It was in March that we first heard about this coronavirus actually being real in Nigeria. At first, many of us did not believe it. No, it can't happen in Nigeria. A lot of my clients were saying that the temperature would not allow it to hit us in Nigeria. But by around the 15th of March, Workcity started preparing seriously for the possibility of COVID-19 actually hitting us properly in Ogun State. So the way we prepared was, as far back as March, we introduced our hand washing and sanitizing. Although at the time we didn't do much social distancing. Then suddenly, end of March, we were told to shut down, and we had to close down for the whole of April, which we did not prepare for, but that's what we had to do.
Okay. Now that we have a gradual easing of lockdown, and we also need to be futuristic about this, what are you doing differently this period as you look at what would happen later? What are you doing differently in the food business?
It's been a lot of things we've had to adapt. Any business that cannot change in any area when things come up is going to go down. So like other food vendors, Workcity has had to seriously adapt the way we work, the way we serve customers. Although fortunately, it's been said in the media and the WHO that it's very unlikely that you catch COVID-19 from food, especially if the food is heated up. But what we've changed, particularly for us, firstly, we partnered with a food delivery company called Chat Food. So we've encouraged people to phone in their orders via Chat Food, via WhatsApp or online. And so that company comes to buy food from us and they deliver to customers. Before COVID, the take-up was just about 5%. But now we're seeing take-up of delivery of about 40 to 45%. So we partnered with Chat Food. Secondly, we were very lucky, and I must say thank you to Coca-Cola, because they gave us a state-of-the-art hand washing device. So before customers come in, they wash their hands with soap and water. We give them paper towels and we give them sanitizer before they come in. Also, what we now do differently, before the lockdown, we used to have lots of large groups coming in to eat in our restaurant to celebrate birthdays and other events. But since the lockdown is, we don't encourage any group to come in. You're going to come in only 1 or 2 maximum at a time. I mean, when you're together. And then once they're in the restaurant, we now practice social distancing. That means space between the customers and my staff. Also, we've had to encourage and impose wearing of masks by customers and staff before coming into the restaurant. So now we have masks for sale at the door. We sell disposable masks for about 100 naira if you don't have your own mask, so that we don't keep customers away. Buy their mask, they come inside. Also, we had to retrain staff on how to be keeping themselves healthy and making sure that they don't get any infection from the customers and they don't infect the customers. For example, when they're traveling into work, they've been told, Okada, only one of you on one Okada. Don't join Okada, 2, 3 people they used to do before. Also, distancing in taxis. They wash their hands much more frequently than they used to, and they stay away from interacting too much with each other. Finally, we now encourage more of cashless transaction, a lot of bank transfers to pay for food rather than POS or cash, although some people still use it, but we encourage more of cashless. Those are the main things we've had to change within our organization. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Just before I allow the journalists online to ask questions, I want to ask, some businesses have had to disengage staff Some have had to reduce salaries. Some have had to have salaries and all that. Are you coping with the challenge of payment of staff?
Yeah, like I said earlier, April was bad. April was very bad. It wasn't planned. So in April, we laid everybody off, unfortunately. As in, we didn't pay salaries at all for anyone in April. First week of May, we returned to work. Although food vendors, food restaurants were allowed to open in April, but we felt within our organization that it was best to close because we did not know the kind of COVID wave we were going to have in Abeokuta. So we thought to close, which we did completely. But then, like I said, in May, we opened up again. And at first, we only had 30% of staff return in May, but gradually every week now we introduce back staff. I think we're back to 60% of our previous level of staffing now. So, but that's also because we're still closed at the weekends. On Saturdays and Sundays, we don't open. Also, we close earlier than we used to. I know that many businesses have been impacted by the COVID in terms of recruiting and retaining staff. But unfortunately, that's one of the bad side effects of this whole pandemic all over the world.
All right, thank you very much, Mrs. Funmi, the MD CEO, Workcity Restaurant in Okileo, Abeokuta. I would like to allow the journalists online to ask questions. Let me begin in no particular order now. I can see one hand up. One hand is up. I guess, okay, it's iPhone. Your device name is iPhone. We'll come back to you if you really want to talk to us. Your device name is iPhone. Sadiq Ojurongbe, can you come up with your question now for our guest this evening?
Hello.
Please go ahead, Sadiq.
Hello. Yeah, thank you very much. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
All right, man. So the MD Workcity, I see that Workcity is offering a service to the people that is kind of different from what we used to get from other eateries in Ogun State. But since COVID-19 take over, it seems like you guys have also increased your your charges from what it used to be before COVID-19. Can we say you are trying to probably ensure you get profit, or what brings about this particular changes in your charges?
Okay, MD Workcity, can you respond to that?
Your observation. However, we have not increased our food prices. Rice remains 100 naira a scoop. Meat is 200 just like before. Our chicken is 800. Our bread remains 350. No, we've not increased our prices at all. In fact, it was last year, August, that we decided to actually reduce our prices because some customers were complaining. They wanted us to match the prices of some other restaurants in other parts of Abeokuta, which we had to respond to at the time. So even though food ingredients cost more now, I think you'll find when you come to the restaurant that we're still the same charges.
All right.
Also did like smaller portions of some things like tilapia fish, which we used to sell at 800, 1,000 naira. Now we've reduced the portion a tiny bit and we sell it for 500 naira to make it more accessible to people. So no, we've not improved. We've not increased our prices at all. I hope you do come to visit us and check us out.
All right. Thank you, MD. Anolu Akwadekora is raising her hand. Can you please go ahead with your question?
Well, thank you, MD, for your opportunity to join us tonight. Well, I'll be asking you two questions. The number one is, how have you been able to manage your staffs? I know you wouldn't want to lay down any one of them because you don't want them to go unemployed. How have you been managing them during the COVID-19 season? That there is no cheating between the staffs. Like some are laid off, or some are work more hours than the other, and things like that. Then number two, how have you been coping with the challenges of other restaurants in Abeokuta? I know it's not going to be easy. So that's my question.
All right, go ahead, MD.
Please, Anolu, can you please repeat my question? I didn't hear you very well. I have the first one, but I didn't
Okay,
hear you.
okay. Let me just say, she's asking what you're doing so that your staff retain their jobs, and secondly, she asked that are you coping with the number of food vendors that you have in town?
Thanks very much. In terms of staff retention, because it has a curfew from 10 p.m., because we don't open Saturdays at all, it has not been really possible for us to go back to the previous number of staff that we had before COVID-19. What we have done though is some of the staff, they come in on a rotation basis. So some come in this week, some don't come next week. Some of our staff that were actually from Lagos actually decided to stay on in Lagos during the 1 month period when we were short. So they actually got us because they could not wait for the month. But the staff that are with us, we do work only one shift now rather than 2 shifts like we used to, because we now work shorter hours. We close at 8 p.m. and we don't open weekends. Interestingly, we've got new vendors in town, lots of people cooking from home, selling food in containers, 2 liters, 5 liters. I have got friends and colleagues that were previously, or that they are event planners. They're now doing fruit delivery, selling pomo, selling jollof rice. So COVID has been very good for everybody, I think, because it's made people realize other potentials that they have. I was looking online today, a former, well, I won't say former, before the COVID, she was an event planner, a very fun in Abeokuta. She was able to post online today her certificate of food hygiene, which she did on an online course in the UK. I was quite impressed with that. However, like Sadiq said before, we have our customer base. Our customers are mostly young people that want good food at a low price, very easy to access, and at a taste which they love. So with all the vendors, including Workcity, have been able to retain, and they've been able to make new customers while we've been able to retain our own. So no, it hasn't had such a bad or negative effect on us, because we've been able to maintain our customer base and even grow it a bit slightly. Thank you, Anna.
All right, well, all right, thank you. This is Discussion Continues, is an online program. This event is being monitored. It's live on Facebook, Tripod Media Online. You can tell your friends, can tell family, those who miss this session, they can easily watch the playback on Facebook, Tripod Media Online. It's also on YouTube at Tripod TV. I know just clapped for you, MD. I can see the iPhone hand up again. Let's take the question of Niger Talkers reporting for 50 Minds.
Okay, good evening once again, man. Now, you said that the price of food in your restaurant is still very the same, and it's even cheaper now. We all know that due to the COVID-19 effect, there is hike in price of food in the market, getting of raw food. How do you get yours? How do you source for food? And then for you to maintain the same price it used to be before the COVID-19 pandemic, how did you source for food so that your price is still very affordable and competitive enough?
Thank you very much, Niger Talkers. Good evening. Workcity was based on a very unique business model right from the beginning, which is to serve fresh food to a large number of people. So we are a volume restaurant. We work on volume. We've been blessed in Abeokuta with two main markets, Kuto and Lafenwa. So we source every other day products, fresh produce from Kuto, Lafenwa, along with our meat suppliers and poultry suppliers, etc., etc. Yes, since the pandemic, prices have gone up. A bag of rice costs like 40% more. Meat and poultry, they go up, they come down. Fresh produce, tomato, pepper, they're high at the moment. But it's a sacrifice that we have to make because our customers will not agree for us to increase our prices. So we still maintain the market model of selling lower, which has encouraged more people to come. So it hasn't actually affected us. It's reduced our profits, but we believe that we're providing a service to our customers, and we give them the option of buying. You can buy rice of 100 naira, meat of 200 naira, if you wish. On the other hand, if you want to spend 1,500 naira, there are things that you can buy. So our model is to spread across the whole economic base of our customers and try to satisfy them. Also, generally, anyway, COVID or no COVID, a lot of fresh produce go up and down in price in Nigeria because there's no storage. So sometimes you get a for 50 naira, the same F4 you can get for 500 naira, depending on the season. So we're used to adjusting from time anyway, pre-COVID. Also, I don't know what the outlook will be next year in terms of availability of food down the chain from the farms down to us restaurants. But this year, it hasn't been so much difference. But I hear that the planting seasons, there's problem of workers. So this year's planting is a bit problematic. So we don't know what the yield will be, what the availability of products will be next year. But this year, it hasn't been too different.
All right. Thank you, Mrs. Funmi Lewis, the MD/CEO Workcity Restaurant. I don't know if our online guests, iPhone, has been raising up his hand. We can see him. He's an elder statesman. Okay. Are you just observing, or you like to say something, sir?
No. Quite honestly, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Please go ahead, sir.
Quite honestly, I would like to commend the station because the first time I will happen to hear about this. What I said to myself and said to the MD of Workcity is I think the station is actually having a segment for food and nutrition. And of course, if that is so, which means companies and outlets like ours would be featured from time to time, more so when we have the culture of eating out and also getting food delivered into the homes, courtesy the pandemic over time. And I think it's good for those who are at home to know who is behind what they are eating and having regularly, and also to get an inkling as to how the food is prepared, sourcing as well as the presentation. And I think, quite honestly, the madam has been able to do quite well from what I'm listening to. And I'm quite delighted. I only wish both the station and the Workcity management kudos and better, I would say support over time.
Yeah. All right, thank you, sir.
Much.
I would like to know your name and where you're joining us.
I'm joining from Lagos. My name is Wale Oladunjoye. I'm joining from Lagos.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. All right. Yes. Before we let you, okay, it's 7:27 in Nigeria. I don't know if Sadiq or Niger Talkers will have further questions before we post the final questions on the guests tonight. Niger Talkers?
Not more for now. Not any question again.
Okay. Sadiq?
I think I'm okay. No question.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. Mrs. Funmi Lewis. Okay. I don't know what for your end. Okay, no for now. Okay. I would like to ask you. Okay. Let's. Hello, sir. Can you unmute yourself? Can you unmute yourself?
All right.
Okay, please go ahead, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I didn't know you were going to ask for questions. I was going to ask the madam, post-COVID, what are the measures that they're putting in place to ensure that the quality and availability of
Okay, I guess he's having some network
the
challenge.
menu
Okay.
currently production.
Okay.
Can you hear me, Mr. Moderator?
Yes, sir. We can hear you. So, MD.
I said I was going to ask Madam, since you have a question and answer session, that post-COVID, is there any way she can tell us how the standard or quality that we have currently will still be available post-COVID, and what are the innovations they are trying to come up with, if any, so that we can know?
Over to you, MD.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Okay, yeah, thanks very much. Thanks for that question. And it's really lovely to see you here on this platform. We, as a restaurant, we always try and bring in innovations. Like this year, we introduced ice cream. So I think it's very well. However, now because of COVID, we thought it's best not to put it at the moment. For reasons, it's a cold product, and I decided just to share it for now. We've actually grilled catfish, whole grilled catfish, whole grilled tilapia at prices that are really good. We sell for 1,000 catfish. 1,200 naira the catfish, 1,000 naira for the tilapia, which other people sell for 2,500. Again, we're able to achieve those because of innovation. Because of customer turnover that we have, so we're able to sell large quantities. Section, because we're selling more of takeaway, so we improved our pastry section. We have more standard meat pie and chicken pies. We also introduced the pepperoni roll, and that's what we have right now. We've actually concentrated more on making sure that we follow all the guidelines laid down by Ogun State government for food vendors. And we work very closely with the health authority, the local public health authority here in Ibarra. They visit us once a week to make sure that we're complying with all the regulations laid down. So it's not really, this time is not really a period for new products per se or new innovations. The task and challenge right now is maintaining our customer base, being able to provide, despite the sometimes spikes in prices of raw materials, coping with NEPA. NEPA has really not been performing as well. Well, they were not performing well before, but even less now. Maybe they're having their own challenges. So we have more power costs because we're more on generator more than before. So this has been our focus, keeping our heads above water, swimming, satisfying our customers with the products we have now. Thank you very much. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, you did. Before we let you go, is platform times online, is your device Infinix Hot 6 Pro? Platform Times newspaper, is your device name Infinix Hot 6 Pro? Okay. Infinix Hot 6 Pro. Is it? No, I guess no. All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for being part of this. Before we go, I would like the MD Workcity restaurant, Mrs. Funmi, to give us what we call a parting shot. You know, its discussion continues. That is the name of the program. So the discussion will continue everywhere we go. The discussion will continue on the street, at home. Everyone present here, and those who are not present, those who are going to watch this on Facebook, or those who are going to read this online, will have to discuss it continually so that we can have a better society, an economically viable society. So your parting shots, Mrs. Funmi, what are those things you would like to tell us as we go on the show tonight?
Thank you very much, Mr. Dare. I must commend you for this new innovation by Tripod Media, and I'm sure it will go from strength to strength. You have our support at Workcity. The discussion has been good. I've enjoyed it. Join us again for another episode, and I look forward to being part of another discussion with Tripod Media Company. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and thanks for coming.
All right, thank you so much for your time, everyone. The online guests, the journalists who joined, everyone, we appreciate you. In advance, too, we appreciate you for joining us in subsequent episodes of Discussion Continues. Do not forget, you can watch, refer people to Tripod Media Online page on Facebook and Tripod TV on YouTube to watch the playback of what played out today. Once again, thank you, Mrs. Funmi, MD, Workcity Restaurant, Okilewa, Bekuta, for your time and for joining us. Thank you to Doluakwa and other journalists online. So the discussion will continue some other time. See you again. Good evening, everyone. Thank you.